And so here's the second option for solution number one, or challenge number one. And I prefer this solution purely because we're not using any inbuilt Python functions. So I would like you to focus on this solution, please, and try and understand it. It looks more complex, but it's certainly more robust, I think, and it definitely doesn't use any built-in Python modules. So I quite like it because it uses some list work and an if statement as well. So it's just more detailed. What I've done here, and I'd like you to code this with me, please, is I've created a variable. In fact, I've created a list, and I've called this list hex A to F, because what I've done is, obviously, hexadecimal values 1 to or 0 to 9 are the same, aren't they, in numerical values? There's no difference. However, A is 10 and B is 11 and C is 12, up to F is 15, and we know that already. So what I've done is I've created some lists inside other lists. So A, I've matched up with 10. B, I've matched up with 11. C, I've matched up with 12. D is 13. E is 14. And F is 15. And I've kept these in speech marks because we're not really doing any math when we're working in our list. We're just finding the solution. So I've just left them in speech marks here. I ask someone for the hexadecimal digit. That's the same as the last type of code. And then what I do is I say for count, and count's just my counter, or for each index, for count in range of hex A to F. So for each item in hex A to F, and each item there is technically 1. This counts as the 0th, but the first item. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So for count in range of 6, if get hex is the same as each count, but the 0 item. So for example, count 0 is this list here, but the 0th item inside count is A. So it's saying if get hex equals to A, we want the getDen variable, which is a brand new variable, getDenary, getDen variable, is going to equal count bracket 1. So it will equal this item. If it doesn't, it just moves on to the next one. Now, if the item was B, let's just go back. It's just reloading itself because I'm using REPL, so the internet, to use this. We're back again. If the character is B, we're gonna go. Sorry, year 10s. My internet connection has decided to mess me around this morning. We're back. If the connection is B, if the count 0 is B, we want the getDen variable to equal the first item in the list. Now, this is complex here, year 10s. It takes some time to study, so don't rush through this. You really need to sort of work through the list, as it were. So let's see if it runs now. If I click run, and I'm going to say enter a hexadecimal digit. I do have to use capitals here, so I'm going to say capital A and press enter, and it returns 10, because what happens is it goes through the list, it goes for each item, and it says, right, if get hex, and get hex is A, equals hex A to F count, and count is the whole list, this list here, because it's a list inside a list. If it's the 0th item, which it was A, it gives getDen the first item inside the list, which is 10. So when you go slowly, I think it's quite easy to understand, but you have to go slowly through it. Let's run it again, and let's test out with another character. Let's say I type in F. It gives me 15. So hopefully that solution works. Now, there is going to be a slight problem, which some of you may have realised, is that hexadecimal obviously isn't just these characters. So, for example, if I run now and type in the letter 5, 5 is a hexadecimal character and it should just return 5. It doesn't, because 5 isn't found inside this list. So there is a way to work around this. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to say found equals false, like so. I need to put that into a capital F. Okay, if this if statement works, I'm going to say found equals true. And then after the list here, I'm going to say if found equals false, Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to print the integer of get hex. Okay, and what this should do is this is going to say, right, found equals false. If I find it, perfect found can become true. If I type in a number, say, it's going to say if found equals false, it will just print out the integer of the get hex value. So if I run this now, and I say number 5, okay, it's printed number 5, but then it produces an error. So that's a bit annoying, isn't it? So it prints number 5, but then it says name getDen is not defined. Okay, so that's because the getDen variable is only created if it's found inside this list, and it hasn't been, has it? Because we haven't found it, so we've had to come down to here. In that case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the else statement and tab that inside. So 5 prints 5, perfect. F prints 15. Okay, great. So that works with the solution, and this is hopefully a solution which is more complex, but certainly more challenging, and you'll be able to hopefully understand this. But please rewatch this video to get a good grasp of this year 10s.